together.
It doesn't.
Usman is actually fighting Jorge Masvidal in a full arena next month, which is fucking crazy. So I might have to cancel shows in May, folks. I might get the cooties.
Yeah.
This might be the time.
This might be the time.
I'm gonna fill up with vitamins and
Full
God knows what
audience.
else. Yeah,
and
15,000 people.
It's. I mean, and to see them, they just fought, but he filled in for him, right?
Well, what happened was a short notice fight where Masvidal took the fight on 6 days' notice, and everyone says that Usman dominated him, which he definitely won. Usman definitely won the fight. There's no question. But Masvidal had some moments in that fight, particularly standing up, where he caught Usman with some good shots.
At the very beginning, right? Where it was like, it looked like he was in trouble.
He definitely had his moments. And when you consider the fact that the guy didn't have any time to prepare, like no time, six days notice to take the fight, it would be a curious fight to see as a rematch. However, there's a lot of other people in the division that are also elite. And then there's the conversations like, are they having this because it's the most marketable fight? Are they having this because they think he deserves it after he took the fight on short notice? There's a lot of good arguments in that way. Like, hey, a guy puts on a very good performance with 6 days notice. How's he going to do it 6 weeks or 8 weeks? How's he going to do with a real camp?
Yeah.
I don't know how much time he's even had to prepare. I don't know if he's had 6 weeks. I mean, from now to the fight is what, 5 weeks? How many weeks is it from now until that UFC card, the big one in Florida?
Are the camps like? Is it that crazy when he has to go fight when Usman just has to change and go fight another guy because you're preparing for his style? Is that what you're preparing for? Like,
yes.
Hey, this dude likes to punch.
You also need recovery time. Like, he just had it was a quick knockout. It was a second round knockout with Gilbert Burns. But he did have some moments in the first round where he got cracked and he got dropped. And then he also did go through a long training camp. And when you go through long training camps, there's always injuries. Guys tweak their neck or they fuck their knee up or their ankle gets rolled. There's always something, and you don't know about that. Like, for instance, when Usman fought Masvidal the first time, he had a broken nose going into the fight. So his nose was broken, like, in the fight. Like, as the fight, like, he broke it 2 weeks before the fight. So he had a broken nose to start with.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so there's...
And they don't check, like, do they...
They don't check.
Like, if he wants to fight, it's like that's his...
I mean, the only way to check a broken nose is to get an x-ray. When you look at his nose looks fine. He's got a crack in it. Yeah. You know, like, how are you going to know? You're not going to know. So after the fight, they go, hey, you got a broken nose. Like, yeah, I had that already.
Yeah.
Like, he had...
It's like underlining conditioning.
But also, you know, and he got hit a lot in that fight because Masvidal can crack. So, and Masvidal's a really good striker. He's very clever.
But Usman is that high level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's like...
He's lost once his whole career, never lost in the UFC, and literally maybe has only lost 1 or 2 rounds ever in his career. I mean, you could make the argument that maybe he lost the first round of the Gilbert Burns fight, but towards the end of that first round, he was kind of beating Burns up, and Burns was on the ground. But he did get dropped with some big punches. But then he wound up, you know, enforcing his will and pushing his will onto Gilbert. So you could make an argument that maybe Gilbert might have squeaked that round by, but maybe not. But then the second round, he smashes him. He's a monster. He's so physically strong. His mind is so strong. That guy's knees are so fucked up, man. They're so fucked up he can't run. You know, he has to do all kinds of different forms of cardio because his knees were so mangled. He told me that when he was when he would walk after training, he wouldn't walk on the sidewalk. He'd have to walk on the grass because it hurt his knees to walk on the sidewalk.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But he gets in there, you don't notice it. You don't.
I've never even heard that. So
his idea is, listen, I'm just gonna wear these motherfuckers out while I'm the champ, and then I'll get my knees replaced when I get older.
Well, that's when I looked up like who he would fight next because then you look, you know. Like, I don't, you know, it's like, it's hard to sometimes even tell their weight classes because sometimes you see a guy, you're like, what's this guy, like 190, like 120 pounds. You're like, oh, he's just jacked.
Yeah.
He's on TV, so I don't know. Because I didn't realize, like, Israel Stylebender, like, he's, like, pretty tall. Like, I didn't realize how big he was.
Right.
And you're like, oh, he's a pretty big dude. But, like, they're in that weight class. But Khabib and Usman could never fight. Like, they're too far. I think he said he wouldn't fight him.
Well, Khabib is 170. Usman is Khabib is 155. Usman's 170. Khabib could fight at 170 if he wanted to. he just wouldn't cut as much weight. He's not the same size as Usman, but he absolutely could compete at 170 if he wanted to. But he's done. He's retiring.
Yeah.
He's retiring.
I knew that. Yeah.
His father died. His father got COVID and died, and he made a promise to his mother that he would stop fighting after this last fight. So he beat Justin Gaethje, defended his title, 29-0, and he's like, "That's it, I'm done." And the UFC's been trying to talk him into fighting again, but so far,
he would have to see a reason to come back.
Yeah,